What's up guys, it's Aileen. Welcome back to Lavendaire. Today I have a very fun video for you guys. It's how I edit my Instagram photos. So a lot of you guys request this on Instagram. Even though I don't consider myself an Instagram expert, I don't even think my Instagram game is that high. But I do have some tips that I could share on how I visualize my feed and how I filter my photos. So today I'm gonna show you how I edit a photo from this to this. And this to this. Before I go into filtering photos, I want to talk about my feed. So something that I had to change in my mindset about Instagram when I wanted to up my Instagram game was to think about my feed in the big picture, because if you think about it, your feed is the first thing that a lot of people see when they check out your Instagram. So it's really important that it is diverse and I don't know, it just shows your best work. So when I'm creating my feed, I think about infusing the Lavendaire brand into it, which is very dreamy, airy, pastel colors like pastel pink, purple, and blue, and just very bright whites and kind of that faded, tingy, dreamy feel. That's the feeling that I want my brand to exude. And for you, you might have other feelings that you wanna create with your brand. I've seen Instagram accounts that are so bold and colorful and saturated and they look awesome. And so I guess it just depends on what you wanna do with your feed. Something else that I learned about creating your feed is to make it diverse. So now I make sure to not post two similar photos in a row, and also try to not post two similar photos that are directly on top of each other. You kind of want to checkerboard your photos so that it kind of looks very kind of widespread and even, if that makes sense. For example, don't post two selfies in a row. Don't post two of the same kind of photos in a row, I guess. So if you have two selfies that you really like, I would post one and then wait 3 or 4 photos later to post the other one. So basically for your feed, just think about the big picture of your theme, your color palette, your brand, and make sure that your photos are spread out in a diverse pattern. Now let's filter some photos. Alright, so let me show you what apps I like to use to edit photos. I mostly use the first two, VSCO and PicTapGo. Sometimes I'll play with Facetune, and the other ones I don't really touch often. So I used to edit exclusively on VSCO because they're really great filters, but since I've discovered PicTapGo, it's just changed my life. I'll show you later how PicTapGo works because it's really fun how you can just layer filters and save your filter recipes. So let's edit something in PicTapGo. I've been really liking this chandelier shot that I took in Santa Barbara at our Airbnb. So usually under my style, I used to have a lot of recipes, but I deleted the app on accident and I lost all my recipes. So now I have to start from scratch, which is fine because I do like to play with the filters and stack them and create my own. So how it works is you just browse through all these different filters. I have some favorites already, I really like air. So you can set the intensity of that filter. I'll go here, and then you stack them. So you add another filter on top. So let's see, Mason looks kind of cool with the peachy tones. Just want to bring out that peachiness. I want a little bit of this tinge here. Maybe that much. Bright side just to brighten it a little bit more. And now it looks a little bit flat, so I want to add some contrast and let's see, crispity. This one kind of brings out the shadows and the details. So I'll do that. Honestly, you can go really crazy with PicTapGo filters. Sometimes I just spend too much time filtering just because it's so fun to layer and see what happens to the colors. Yeah, I could definitely go overboard with this. Let's go back to auto color, color it up a little bit. You see how these changes are so subtle, but I have a lot of fun filtering this way. Do I like this one? You can't even tell. Actually, I can tell a little bit. No, undo. So if you don't like a filter, you can always undo it. I'm just drawn to like make it look super white. This is overboard, but I can't help it. I like, no, I don't want it. Okay, let's do it like that. I think I'm done. I think at this point I'm just like making little adjustments that don't really matter. So what you can do is you can save that recipe. So those are all the filters that we stacked. And what should I name it? I'm gonna name it like Pink Chandelier. All right, so I've saved that recipe and now I just save to camera roll. There you go. Then what I would do is I would bring it into Instagram. I like it like that. I'm gonna have to adjust this because it looks crooked to me. That. Okay. And in Instagram, I usually really just play with these filters because I get crazy with this stuff. And I just really like to filter things. So this one, I definitely need more like structure back in there because Pick Tap Go, it's a great filtering app, but it makes things look really flat. So if you want to add more contrast and structure, I would probably use Visco for more like contrasty photos. But I just love Pick Tap Go's like dreamy filters, and my Instagram or my aesthetic is very dreamy and pastel, and so that's why I love using that. So here I'm gonna bump up the saturation. All right, warmth. Usually I like my photos cool, but I'm gonna leave this in the middle. All right, fade. I don't know if I need this. I'm gonna put a little bit. And then I usually like to sharpen it a little bit. You can't even tell. You see how I just like mess with everything? All right, I think it's ready. And then I would just type my caption and post it. All right, now I'm gonna edit like a close-up selfie. And the one that I have is already pretty good lighting, so I'm just gonna take it straight into Visco. So this is the one that I have. Import it. And let's get to editing. So like I said, HB1 or HB2 are my favorites. Sometimes I'll play with the other ones though. I'll check which ones I like. Sometimes I like to use A6. That makes my hair look gray. And this is more like purple and blue. So I would probably do HB1 for this one. All right. I would go halfway, like 6. Yeah. And I feel like it's bright enough. All I want for this photo is to add some contrast and maybe a little texture. See, before and after. What is that one? Oh. So this photo is pretty white already, so I don't need to color correct it. And I guess I'll just add some fade because Visco's fade is my favorite fade. I don't think the fade on Instagram is as good as Visco for some reason. It's just different. So, all right. At this point, I feel like this photo is pretty good already. Maybe I would probably bump up the brightness in Instagram. But here, I think my work is done. So that was pretty simple. Save to camera roll. And there you have it. That's how I edit my photos on Pick Tap Go and Visco. All right, that's how I edit my Instagram photos. I hope you guys like this video. And just remember, Instagram is just fun. Don't take it too seriously. Don't get stressed out about it. For me, I see it as like a creative outlet to share my personality in different ways, to share my life, and to also kind of color my world in the way that I see it, in the way that is my ideal. So Instagram's definitely not reality. It's kind of like my vision of what I want my world to be, and I feel like other people's Instagram accounts are also their vision for what they like their world to be. So I think it's just a beautiful thing to be able to peek into other people's worlds and get inspired. I find so much inspiration on Instagram. All right, so enough rambling. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!